Welcome to the Hive O'Clock News. Coming to you live from downtown Los Angeles. The Hive O'Clock News. Produced by the King Bee of Hiveland.
Speaking of the classic, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, I have to ask a question about the cotton candy cocoons. Now, to me, as a bee, I saw the hook mechanism kind of looked like a bee bite. Can you confirm or deny that there was any bee influence in the creation of that?
There was a bee motif. We could have made it any color stripe, like Stripe Man's cape.
That's true.
But we chose the yellow and black. The butt end of a bee was appropriate to put on the cocoon.
Yes, and plus the subtext was this was a bee movie we were making.
Yes.
And,
There you go.
I think it's the subtext was there.
I felt it.
And our fans have a
miss it.
hive mentality.
Boy, that is true, and it's now confirmed. And I'm glad to see that because it was a connection that resonated with me. I'm not saying I shed some tears, but there was definitely some moisture in the eye region, and it was a beautiful thing. How close are we to the next clown Armageddon here on Earth?
This close?
Well,
it was this close.
I'm telling you.
Metaphorically or
production-wise.
It's there. It's there. It's been
Yeah.
there and growing each moment that we exist on this planet. There is, I think, at the core of the Earth, there is the, let's say, the hive of the clowns, just ready to come to the surface.
What's fascinating to us is the silly little movie we made 27 years ago appears on the in the top 10 lists of every 80s cult favorite, movie list. And we have a fan base that, they're rabid fans of clowns. We seem to have hit a nerve with an audience, and 27 years later, they want to see more.
And it's funny, people do come up to us that they've been closet, clown haters all this time. And our movie has given them an opportunity to reach out to other people with clown phobias and make them have a place.
They have a focus. Well, it's a remarkable piece of work, and it's understandable why people would be clamoring and clowning for more. In fact, this very episode of the Hive O'Clock News is replete with clowns, whether we resist them or we don't.
I think they're hanging around here. I think in the annals of this studio here, I think there are clowns lurking behind every backdrop.
And that's what clowns do. They lurk.
You've seen Pokemon Go? Wait till you see Clown Go.
Oh no. When did you last use your pie throwing skills? Or do you have pie throwing skills? I should ask you first.
That's 27 years ago?
So it's definitely some brushing up has to happen.
It's harder than you think.
Yeah.
It's a semi-liquid.
Well,
They're heavy. Too.
They're heavy.
Very
You put-
heavy. And when you
Well-
hit somebody, the impact is quite.
It was imperative in clowns that we use real pies.
I noticed that.
It was It was crust
There was
with
no
real
shaving
pie
cream.
with real pie filling, and then whipped cream on top. No cheating with paper plates and whipped cream.
Yeah, Soupy Sales, the master of pie throwing, and getting hit with pies, just basically, I think he had some crust and it was shaving cream, and always dead on and explosive, which was great. We needed the colored fillings, for our final reveal, and we needed the crust. And we found out that getting hit in the face with a pie even this close was painful. And
It's no longer a joke.
yeah, you
when
had
it's
to
a real pie.
you had to enclose it. You had to devise a handle, a wristband, or that wrapped around your hand that retained the pie tin, but ejected the crust and the filling.
Yeah, we didn't want to hit people with the tins, because the idea was at the end of
Yeah.
the pie hits. We wanted to see all of the custard and cream dripping down. We didn't want to see a bunch of tin plates dripping down. So, like Charlie said, you had to eject the pie and keep the tin.
So who'd have thought? And we thought it was going to be an easy gag, and we wind up R&D'ing this thing for weeks.
The Chiodo Brothers are pioneers in pie-throwing technology. It's just, it's more than I ever realized happened in the production of Killer Klowns from Outer Space. And that's, are you going to up the ante for the next pie-throwing element?
We have to.
Oh yeah, it can only go up.
You can't rest on your pie tins for this one. You've got to take it further.
And they say more isn't necessarily better, but we're just going to make it a little different is always better.
But when it comes to pies, I think more is funnier.
And when it comes to clowns, a little more isn't fun.
It's scary.
More is scary.
But you can't have too many. There were some moments in that movie where the lines were just priceless. Like the, well, go ahead, let them make a dummy out of you, but I'll tell you one thing, they're not going to make a dummy out of me. Famous last words.
Yeah, I tell you, as silly as it is, as corny and hokey as it is, it's good screenplay writing. We foreshadowed something that was coming up later on, so now when you see the film again the second time, you get so much more out of that line, so much more out of the joke because you know what's coming up. It's pretty smart.
It's funny. I always wanted to make sure that we somehow said the title of the movie in the movie, and that was the perfect character, and John Vernon's delivery of it just
great.
brought it to another level.
What you do is you set it up and you deliver a punchline. It's the classic gag formula. One of my favorite gags was Dave the cop, leaving the cocoon room as the clowns are coming, and he says, "We can't leave now. There still might be people alive in these balloons." Now, some people think that's a ridiculous line, but it was appropriate. It was a dilemma. He was leaving victims that could be alive in these cocoons and these balloons.
Yeah, look at that shot. There's a lot of people dead in those cocoons.
Yeah. Or are they dead?
But now we can't take credit for all the lines. In the jail cell, those two punks that were in there when the clown was thrown into the cell, they came up with the line, a little improv. What are you in for? Yeah. And I said, that's great, we kept that. Yeah. And then the Terenzi brothers, when the Killer Clown was coming out to the ice cream truck inside the circus tent, the clown was going, "Get out of the truck, guys!" And he popped his hat and said, "We can't, the truck is rented."
It's rented.
It's improv.
It's a beautiful song. Someone left a clown out in the rain. I don't think nobody's thinking, but it took so long to make it. And I never heard that recipe again.
And you know where the inspiration for much of this comes from. We grew up in the 60s. We grew up on the classic Warner Brothers Looney Tunes. We grew up with Dr. Seuss, The Grinch Stole Christmas. And we grew up with, just all the great stuff. The Hal Roach comedies, Laurel and Hardy.
Abbott and Costello.
The Little Rascals. So what we've done is took that slapstick and we just reinvented it and put it in our clown.
And wrapped it up in a sci-fi theme where anything can happen. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, we made a movie that we would go and see, that we'd enjoy, and the fact that other people liked it is like, wow.
But how was the process of making it? Did you enjoy it as much as we enjoyed watching it?
It was
Was
exciting.
it a fun process?
Yeah, it was
We were really
difficult.
brand new. I don't think we really knew what we were doing. We'd made shorter films. We did a TV special prior to that, but nothing on this scope. And I guess because we didn't know what we were getting into, it was enjoyable because we didn't have anything to be afraid of. We learned as we went along.
Yeah, it was funny if you ever have a chance to listen to the commentary on the DVD. It's kind of like a little primer on low budget movie making with a studio that didn't understand what we were doing. So it was kind of challenging because we had a different vision than what they thought the movie we were making. And there was some battles on like the production level, but like working with the crew, the creative part was a blast.
Oh yeah, the crew was behind us.
Yeah.
They really liked what we were doing.
But on the production side, where I got involved with more, it was kind of a battle every day.
Oh, I literally had to break up a fight.
Yeah.
Our AD was having a fight with the producer here, arguing and yelling. It wasn't even that late. It was like 11 o'clock or so.
Yeah, he was tired. He wanted to go home.
He wanted to go home.
He did not want to do the clowns coming out of the clown car shop because it was too close. The sun was rising, and we were in a warehouse.
Yeah.
So we're set up to do it.
Yeah.
We're talking about an hour here.
Yeah.
So I had to break these guys up and push them apart. I said, "Come on, let's make the movie."
And you made the movie.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Killer Klowns from outer space! Holy shit!
Wow!
Buzz around, buzz around, buzz around, buzz around.